Press that one. Press that one. Sound check, testing. 1, 2. We had a few wobbles. Is everyone sitting comfortably? Are we here? Hello, Stephen, Otto, Brett, Andy H. Friendly neighborhood inquisitor, the Eternal Crusader, evening all. What a week of reveals. I was thinking that Eternal Crusader, that was tested successful Av Imperial. Nice. So we are live. Welcome to this week's Talkie Tuesday live stream. You know what? A week of reveals that you've said. I was thinking about making the title like New Year, New Merch, New Reveals, New You. Because I've updated the merch. For anyone who's watching this now, or anyone watching this in the VOD squad, when I say I updated the merch, I called my local tech priest, she came upstairs, and helped me reorganizing the merch store. So this t-shirt is back in. This was popular, and it's stripped down, it's reimagined, it's more... There was too much. Sometimes you need less. Sometimes less is more, apparently, unless it's ice cream. So there's less, but there's more. And there's a nice little bag in there that will make a good dice bag as well. We've revealed Dawn of War. So that's some of the reveals, new merch. And then all the reveals, Dawn of War 4. We've got new combat boxes. What are they called? Battle boxes for Heresy. They look really good. I want all of them, except for the Solar Auxiliary one, because I don't collect. Well, thinking that. And also, today, 19th of August, 11 years today. The merch has been locked on. Nice. 11 years today. The Nightbringer. Yes, the Nightbringer. Dawn of War remastered. Dawn of War 4 coming. The Nightbringer reimagined. It's crazy, right? But also, today, on the 19th of August, 11 years ago, Winter's SEO YouTube channel was born. Doing this 11 years now. Of course, if you go back and look at like the oldest videos on the channel, I had to delete a bunch of them. I didn't know what I was doing back there, so there was lots of copyrighted music, and about 30 or 40 videos got removed from the channel from the first year. But yeah, it was 11 years on the 19th of August, and we're still here. We're still going strong. I don't know how, I don't know why, but we're still going strong. So I am 11 years old today, and I want to say thank you to anyone who's watched a video. Thank you to anyone who's clicked subscribe, and a massive shout out to all my members and my patrons and everyone who keeps the dream alive. I was driving home the other day, back from Mike's house, after playing some Battlefield 6. Doesn't it look good? It looks good. Battlefield 6. Oh, sir. Suits you, sir. I was driving back home, down the country roads, in between Bassett and Swindon, going through Purton. And the full moon was breaking out. I was driving down the road. It was like 11 o'clock at night, no cars on the road. It was really nice. And I was thinking, I am so lucky to be doing this. So lucky. You know, it hit me a bit like a freight train. How lucky I am. I just, I remember driving home with a great big smirk, a great big smile on my face. And I doubt we'll be going for another 11 years, by the way. I mean, it's crazy that it's gone on this long. McDonald's is calling me. They've always got vacancies. I'm sure I'll be putting fries in the bag at some time soon, but... thank you, Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor, for gifting one membership. I appreciate it very, 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 very much. Thank you. Thank you to all the members and things. And KDF stands? It doesn't, though. It doesn't. KDF fell over. KDF fell over. It was very sad. The KDF stands book, however, if that's the one that you're referring to, I think it's called KDF stands, is a really good book. If you're looking for a standalone 40k book, it's there. It's the Cadia Stand. Is it called Cadia Stands? What's the one where Cadia breaks? I think it's called Cadia Stands. It's good. Cadia crumbles. Apple crumble. Why have I suddenly got a feeling of apple crumble? Proper crumble with custard on top. Another 11 years and you'll be on to the Napoleonics, says Andy H, who's been a member for 32 months. Thank you, Andy H. Cheers to you. You know, last year when I did the 10-year live stream, I was sat here blowing the thing, throwing it. That was awkward, wasn't it? There was a lot of people in the stream then, so I appreciate it, but that was awkward. Let's not go back there. So we're locked in. We're locked in. Cadia broke before the guard did. The bit at the end of the book, there's a bit at the end of the book, man. The Cadia Stands. It's called Cadia Stands, right? Is it called Cadia? I have to check now. What's the name of the book? It's on my Audible. I think it's called Cadia Stands. The one where Cadia... Chat, you're not helping. You're supposed to be on it. When I say, is it? Someone's supposed to Google, not me. It's like I work here or something. Cadia Stands. Yes. That's the one. Yeah, it is called Cadia Stands. It's there's a bit. It is a good book. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10 would bang. Listen, there's a bit at the end, right, where they're evacing. Some of the main characters are evacing, and one of the main characters looks round and notices that a couple of Cadians are shoving some dirt into used ammo packs and putting the lids back on and shoving them in their duffel bags before they run onto the evac ship so they can take a little bit of Cadia with them when they leave Cadia. And I'll not lie to you guys, a few tears rolled down my cheeks on that one. That touched me. That got me right in the feels. Yeah, it's just the guard. There's something so heroic and noble about the guard, particularly if they last longer than a couple of minutes on the battlefield. Then they're true heroes and nobles as far as I'm concerned. Hey up, Adam Sand. Hi, Jink. Hi, Red Richmond. What? You were evacing your vault floors this morning? I don't know what that means, but it sounds exhausting. Maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should pay for someone to come around and do it. Pay for someone, get a small child, okay? They're out there. There's loads of them out there. You can wander the streets. There's loads of them. Get one of them to evac your floors. They're not doing anything useful. They don't pay taxes or anything, getting in the way in supermarkets and things. And one day they'll take over the world. So we might as well put them to work now. Send them back down the mines is what I say. Back down the mines, back up the chimneys. How are we doing, chat? What have we eaten for dinner today? Stop now. Stop what? What have I didn't... Stranger, that was fine. I nearly strayed. I nearly said something inappropriate, okay? But we don't say anything inappropriate on this stream. Dawn of War 4 trailer, what do you think? I didn't see the trailer. I need to see the trailer. I watched the Call of Duty Modern 7 Black Ops. That trailer, that looked terrible. It's going to all be about Battlefield for me. But I didn't watch the trailer. Is it good? Is the trailer good? Yeah, screw those pesky child labour laws. Exactly. Everything was fine. Look, I'm so old that when I was really young, I nearly got a job at the local cinema showing people to their seats with a torch. You would like, hey, here's your seat, here's your seat. And the cinema wanted to pay me 20p. And I nearly took it. I was like, damn, I'll take that money, 20p. But now you can't pay people 20p and you can't employ children. Why not, I say, why not? Why not? Brett, hey Winters, have been watching your content for years and absolutely love your battle reports. Thank you. Is there any chance of you making a 9th edition playlist like you have for 8th? There is a chance. However, that would involve me going back through my entire back catalogue, figuring out when 9th started and 9th ended, and then making clicks for about 100 plus videos, click, and sticking them all in a 9th edition playlist. And that seems like something I would definitely do for members. And no members have asked me. Looks all right, but I'm cautious because of Dawn of War 3. I know Dawn of War 3 was just screwed, wasn't it? It was screwed. They went hero. It was too much Hero Hammer. Dawn of War 2, though, was a work of art. The children yearn for the mines. They do. That's why they love Minecraft. They yearn for the mines. Transparent, see-through terrain, anyone. I was talking to Steve, not Rob, the other day. He was at a convention, He was at a thing on the South Coast. And he walked through the hall. Did I say the story before? Stop me. Hi, P. James. Stop me if I've said this one before. He was walking through one hall and it was all the 40k tables. And there was white birthday cards set out for the terrain. Just white birthday cards everywhere. You know, the L-shaped ruins. Not even painted, just white. And then in the other hall, there was the heresy tables, which looked spectacular. Make terrain. Make 40k tables. Make the 11th edition. Yes, you know what I'm saying. Dawn of War was my jam for years. What's your favourite jam? I just have to go with... I have to go with chunky strawberry jam for me. It'd be chunky strawberry. I know it's plain, but there's something about when you're biting into a nice buttery toast and you get a lump of one of those. Hey, says PC. How about Roses, Buds and Thorns of the 3rd edition HK? How about Roses, Buds and Thorns of... I don't know. Strawberry jam always. Lemon curd, Eternal Crusader, back of the class. We've just started and you're going to the back of the class. It was a jam question. Curd is not on the menu. You know, that's another thing. When Roses, you're like, what? So here's the... Yes, I did, Dr. No. We'll get to that, Dino. Listen. Here's the thought for you guys. Here's the thought. Okay, strap in for this one. You'll like this. I need a serious answer to this question. No, back of the class. Not off Eternal Crusader. Back of the class. We're talking about jam, not curd. Thank you, Rue, for gifting 5 memberships. I appreciate you. Rue's still alive, everyone. He's recovered from his multiple surgeries after being abducted by aliens and skydiving off of the roof of the Empire State Building and swimming with sharks off of the coast of South Africa. And he's still alive. Thank you. Can we get some GGs in the chat for Rue, please? Stranger, what? Is Say Hi Paul here? Say Hi Paul is in the chat. The original Dawn of War got me back into 40k and it's all their fault. Say Hi Paul. The man, the myth, the legend, the Say, the Hi, the Paul is in the chat. GG's, Rue. Thank you very much. Hi, Say Hi Paul. Listen, this is the thing I wanted to ask, okay? Lock in, chat. Serious question. Are you ready? Everyone leaning forward a little bit. Perched. About 80 degrees, stare at the phone. Ready for this? Or tablet or TV screen. Please don't put me on a TV screen. My head are that big. You know, we talked about menu, right? When the Lord of the Rings meets back on the menu, boys. That implies that the orcs know what a menu is. Right? So I want to know, what is on Saruman's menu? What are they having? What do they get to pick? Ear of elf? Tongue of bat? Is it wing of bat? I think it's wing of bat. A tongue would be very small. But it's on the menu. So they get to pick. You go down in the morning after waking up, ripping up some trees and changing the direction of some rivers. Jaffa cakes is definitely on their menu. Barbecue would be nice on the menu. Nice. A barbecued penguin, something like that. Kittens. I'm sure they barbecued kittens there, okay? You know, frog legs and snails. Oh, they're okay, French. Am I saying that right? Okay. Orcs eating at salt bed. What? Talking about meat. When does the food talk start? We're on the food talk. It is a food channel, yes. This is a food channel, isn't it? Mainly a food channel, I have to say. Sometimes we might get onto some Warhammer in a minute. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes it's just food. I like food. I'm so food motivated. I'll do anything for a good meal. I will fly places to go to have a good meal. You know what I mean? Man flesh dipped in white chocolate. Man flesh. Menu would be forest animals, whatever turns up when you burn the forest. What am I talking about now? I'm talking about meats back on the menu in Lord of the Rings. So they have menus, right? What's on their menu? Worm tongue. Jink has just won the internet. +1 internet point for you, Jink. Worm tongue is definitely on the menu. Right, okay. I like it. Yeah. Worm tongue. I mean, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's probably the greatest trilogy of all time. It's up there with Back to the Future, isn't it? It's up there with some of the truly great trilogies. Also, orcs can eat veggies if meat can get off. Yeah, meat could get off the menu, so orcs could be vegans too. So you could explain why they're so angry. Because if you were a vegan, you'd be very angry. The hardest thing about being a vegan is not telling everyone about it, right? Yeah. So anyway, 11 years of Winter's SEO. We're here this evening to talk about the Warhammers. And I did paint something in this last week. It comes in bursts, doesn't it? It comes in bursts. And you get a burst. And so I finally finished the big fella. He's quite rather plain, easy to do. The base from March of War, .co.uk. But in Iron Hands colours, he's going to be an absolute pain. And I've gone back to the Emperor's Children. This is going to be one of the rhinos. There's 2 rhinos and a Land Raider coming for the Emperor's Children for 40k and Fulgrim. And I think that'll round out that project for a bit, though I do probably need to get some demons and stick them in there. Do a 9th edition playlist and I'll buy you Nando's. Andy H is asking for a 9th edition playlist. 9th edition playlist. He's a member. Have to listen to the members. They're basically my boss. You're basically my boss. It's like getting shouted at by my boss. I went to Nando's once. I don't know what the thing is about Nando's, guys. Is Nando's mid? I went to Nando's once. It was in Swindon and it was shit. Probably because it was in Swindon. I mean, it was not clean. And the food was very, very, very fried. Like grease on the plate fried. I mean, Nando's peri peri mayonnaise, banging. I got some in the fridge. But Nando's itself, I don't get the appeal. What is a Nando's, says Cultured American. It's like a chicken place. You guys have Chicken Shack or something? It's like a place with chicken and chips and things. The Nando's in Bristol is good. Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few places to eat in Bristol, which is quite nice. But the one in Nando's is a poor man's KFC. KFC food comes in buckets. Food should never be served in buckets. You carry sand in buckets. You carry miniatures in buckets. You do lots of things with buckets, but you shouldn't eat out of a bucket unless you're like a barnyard animal or something like that. So KFC with the buckets. Nando's, Winters says Nans don't. Don't go to the Swindon one. Nando's is flame grilled chicken with chips. That's pretty much what Nango. It's a chicken and chips place. I don't even know if they do pizzas. It wasn't good. 9th edition playlist. I'm not promising that it'll be done anytime soon. A 9th edition playlist. I will add it. Thank you for the donation as well, Addy. I'll add it to the... because up here next to the 9th edition playlist is that. Still haven't done that. KFC is poor man's Sunday dinner. Hard to get a decent KFC nowadays. It is. I did have a lovely one in Poland a while back. I've also got that. Do you remember the Mechanicum homework? If we actually get on to talking about Warhammer at some point, I did some Mechanicum homework. I know. Pick yourself back off the floor. If you're falling off your chair, I know. I actually read a book. I can read. Buckets for the win. Saves on doing the pots. Yeah, but food in a bucket, you know. Food should be on nice porcelain plates with some napkins. At least 3 knives on one side, 2 forks on the other. A nice jug of fresh mineral water and a cup of tea. This is what dinner consists of. Salt, pepper, probably a Yorkshire pudding. It doesn't consist of chicken in a bucket. Peppers, piri, and Popeye. I don't what? Jink. It doesn't make... That's not English. I did... Anyway, back up to Dino, who said, Dino, yes, I did. And yes. I mean... yes. Duplessis... He didn't get up again, did he? Mind you, 2 spinning elbow knockouts in one night. That was good. Tell me about the mech. I'm tempted by the combat box. Tell me about the mech. I'm tempted by the combat box. The combat box is... What's the combat box as well? It's the big one, the little one, a couple of little ones, and some Thalax, which will make a nice combat box, to be honest. Yeah, get them and add them to your thing. Guns. Mech is guns. If you want some guns added to your stuff, get the ad mech. Done. I do bring silverware to McDonald's, yeah. Northern food out of a trough is good enough for me. What did I learn about Mechanicum? They are robots. I heard Mechanicum is really good value. So, Mechanicum. Shall we do the Mechanicum, guys? Shall we talk about the Mechanicum? Horus Heresy Mechanicum. Okay. So, in Horus Heresy, there is a prime detachment which consists of your praetor, your commanders, and then troops. And then you take that, and from that, if you bring a praetor, it unlocks apex detachments. If you bring commanders, it unlocks auxiliary detachments. That's how it works for the legions. For Mechanicum, your prime detachment all consists of single dudes. An Archmagos fills the praetor slots, Magos fills the commander slots, and tech priests fill the troop slots. So you have 4 tech priests in the troop slot, dunk, 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 which once again illustrates how ridiculous the Force organization chart for 3rd edition is. 3rd edition, man. Still need to do my video on it. It's got some of the worst rules writing and some of the best rules writing that Games Workshop have ever produced in the same book. You can tell it's definitely been written by committee, because really bad stuff and really good stuff sitting next to, like the dice rolling, no re-rolls, and it's you can read the game. You roll the dice, you can read the game. You know there's no re-rolls. So 1s are 1s, 1s are bad, 6s are good, and then there's breaching on a 4-5-6, rending on a 4-5-6, shred on a 4-5-6, and that figure, that X value on the data sheets is unmodified as well. So when it says this character breaches on a 6, rends on a 6, that's before modifiers. If there are any modifiers, and there hardly aren't any modifiers at all. So with the X value on half of the dice that you're rolling, and with no re-rolls, once you've got it down, and I've played 9 games now, maybe 10, I've got it, it's starting to flow really easily when I play the game now. It's starting to flow, starting to flow, starting to flow. And it's transparent is the word. It's very transparent. When you play Heresy, you can see what's happening. You can read the game with the dice rolling. It's glorious. And that's good. That's some of the really good rules writing right there. The meat that holds the potatoes together. The meat and potatoes of the game. Transparent. Clean. Fresh. I mean, we're at a point in the Games Workshop life cycle where when they release a game with no re-rolls, it seems like a revolutionary thing. But it's clean, it's nice. And then, so really good rules right in there. And then at the other end, you've got a Force organization chart, which takes 7 pages and a flow diagram to explain to you what the hell is going on. And what the hell's going on is this. I'll say it in one sentence. Bring more commanders, and you can bring more stuff. It takes them 7 pages and a flow chart to say that. Bring more commanders and you can bring more stuff than 2nd edition. Generally speaking, unless you want to do a Destroyer Company, or unless you want to do White Scars Bikes list, or unless you want to do Day of Revelations, or if you want to do a whole drop pod list. Apart from that, what have the Romans ever done for us? It's 7 pages with a flow. It's just... some of the best rules writing, some of the worst rules writing, side by side. And so the force organization chart for AdMech, basically, I don't even know why they... Archmagos is your guy in charge. Magos below that. Tech Priest below that. They fill the thing. The more of the things you can bring, the more Apex detachments you can bring. Great. And then your Archmagos, you give him... say what sort of Tech Priest he is. What sort of Forge Lord he is. What's he in charge of? Is he Cybernetica? Is he Lamacrea? Is he an Arc Commandrite? Is he Auto Reductor? What is he? Myrmidax. And you give him a thing, and then he unlocks a specific Apex detachment depending on what thing he is. So if you're bringing allies AdMech, you can't do this. If you bring in allies AdMech, you're just bringing a couple of Magos, not Archmagos. You're bringing a couple of Magos and then some stuff that you can slot in there. And if you're an ally in AdMech, it's well worth thinking about bringing a Magos and a couple of really big guns that can shoot a really long way, because that's what the Mechanicum do. They're the war crime department of the 31st millennium. They bring a lot of war crime weaponry to the table. And so if you are thinking about allying Mechanicum into your Legion force, then what you want to look at first is, where are the big guns at? What tanks am I bringing? Am I bringing a Thanatar? Am I bringing some Castellax with Darkfire cannons? That sort of thing. What am I bringing my big guns with? Attach a Magos to, job's done, nice allied slot. You could perhaps bring some Uzurax as well, jumping around all over the place, done. But if you're going primary, then your Archmagos unlocks a specific Apex detachment, and those Apex detachments get buffs. So Myrmidax, for example, if you bring in a Myrmidax Archmagos, then he gets a buff, and all the Myrmidons become prime. If you pick the one with the tanks, I think it's Lacrimea, then all the tanks, you can bring 6 tanks, 3 of them transports, 3 of them tanks. So the Archmagus is this. It unlocks up to 3 tanky transports and 3 tanks. And then all of them in that Apex detachment increase their armor value by 1 and their hull points by 2 for free. That's pretty good. So that's what it does. It's what type of Archmagos are you bringing, means what upgrades do you want to bring to one of your things. So Uzurax, you can make Uzurax a bit nastier. If you're bringing 3 units of Thalax, you can bring all the Thalax along. I think that's Auto Reductor, and improve their invulnerable save and improve their intelligence, for example. So if you're bringing 3 Thalax, do I want to upgrade then? If I'm bringing 3 Myrmidon, do I want to upgrade then? If I'm bringing a bunch of tanks, do I want to upgrade them? Remember, it'll only be 1 Apex detachment that you'll be able to do 1 upgrade for the many upgrade. 1 Apex detachment, so there's 1 chunk of things you're upgrading. Your Thalax, your Uzurax, your tanks, your Cybernetica. If you're bringing robots, then you can pick a robot unit, and that robot unit can score and gets +4 to its leadership, cool, and thing. They're not stupid. They're thinking machines. They become thinking machines. And then they can score. And then any other cybernetic unit that you attach a Magos to, or an Archmagos to, or a Tech Priest to, in fact, that unit can score as well. So if you want your cybernetic stuff to score, then you need to go Cybernetica, because vehicles and Cybernetica stuff can never score. So yeah, and then so that's part 1. That's how that thing works. And when I was looking at it, I was thinking, it's blatant. The book is blatant. They want you to buy 4 units of Myrmidax. They want you to buy 3 units of Uzurax. They want you to buy 3 full units of Thalax. These Apex buffs that you get depending on what your Archmagos is blatant, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I'm more than okay with that. I'm pleased by that. When Games Workshop say, get this, you can do that. Fine. It's good. It's simple. As long as it doesn't take 7 pages and a flow diagram to tell me, and it doesn't, it takes a couple of paragraphs in there to tell you, I'm down with that. It's blatant in the fact that, hey, if you buy loads of these, then they want you to buy loads of them for that thing, or loads of them for that thing, or that's fine. That's fine. It's blatant. It's obvious. It's in your face. I'm down with that. It's fine. And then I was looking through my collection thinking, well, I've got 2 units of Azrax, but not 3. I've got 1 unit of Myrmidax, not the 4. I was reading it, and I was like, has anyone, the person who wrote this, were they watching my battle reports? Because it almost feels like it was written with me in mind. It's almost felt like it was written like, because I've got a bit of this and a bit of that and a bit of that and a bit of nice, but I haven't got all of something and all of this and all of that. And they were like, hey, look, Winters hasn't got all of a thing. Let's write this so he'll run out and get all of a thing. Now I want 4 units of Myrmidons, but particularly a shooty one, Myrmidon Destructors in the backfield and 3 ones moving up maybe, or maybe 2 units of Myrmidon Destructors in the backfield because they were pants before, but they're pretty good now, and 2 units, they're Vanguard. Vanguard points when you shoot stuff. That's a whole other thing. Instead of take an objective for Vanguard for points, shoot a unit off an objective that's holding an objective. You don't even need to go near the objective and you'll get Vanguard. They got Vanguard 3. If a unit with Vanguard kills a unit on or near an objective, and they've got Vanguard 3, you get 3 points. It doesn't say you have to do that in close combat. I've been doing it with Terminators, like the Vanguards, killing the thing, and then you get 1 point for being a Vanguard unit, and then plus 3 points for being Terminators. Suddenly you get 4-point swing for doing it in close, but you don't have to do it. You can have some Myrmidon Destructors that 30 inches away, shoot that tactical squad off of that objective, and they get 3 points, and they're not even there. That's interesting. But yeah, so basically I want to get another whole unit of Azrax, and then I can do the triple Azrax one. I have got 4 tanks, so I can do the 3 tanks, but the other side is the 3 transports, 3 tanks, 3 transports. But I stand by my original conviction, which I've said many times, and during the unboxing video for the Mechanicum, that you don't want the Krios armor conveyor. If you're Mechanicum, what do you put in the armor conveyor? I don't know. There's no point in putting little Ad Secularis Covenant in there. They're move blockers, or they're at the back holding onto your Tech Priest. You don't want to put your Myrmidons in there because your Myrmidons want to be out shooting stuff. You can't put any robots in there. The last thing you can really put in there is like Skylax Automata with a Tech Priest holding. You can put a Tech Priest bubble wrap thing inside a tank to try and keep him safe. But again, if you're doing that, he's not shooting out any Cybernetica orders. He's not doing any of his Master of the Machine stuff. He's not doing any of these plinking away the mind. He's not making them do the things with his mind because he's in the transport and he can't do Cybernetica things. It's not called Cybernetica. Is it called Cybernetica still? He's not doing Cybernetica things while he's in a truck, or while he's in combat, or while he's in this, or while he's in that. Cyberthurgy, that's what it's called, Cyberthurgy. He's not doing any of his cyberthurgic rights if he's in a transport. So the transport seem to be the thing that gets the admech to the battle before the battle begins, and the things they're definitely out of when the battle begins. But looks good, looks interesting. I like what they've done with the Force Org and with the blatant thing and with the Apex detachment. I like what they're saying. Lean into what your Archmagos does, what kind of Tech Priest he is. I like that. I like the fact that all the normal Magoses is Officer of the Line 2, so they're going to unlock lots of little detachments as well. And most of the rules for the Castellax, for the Thanatars, for the stuff I've got, most of the rules for the stuff I've got is good, is okay, is good. The Castellax cheaper, this, that, and the other. It's good. On the tabletop, here's what I'm worried about. Melters. damage 3 las cannon arrays on Spartans, damage 2 laser destroyers, damage 2 neutron lasers, or if they stay still, damage 4 neutron lasers against AdMech. So there's a lot of damage 2, damage 3, damage 4. Or even if you've got like a Cerberus or a Typhon, damage 6. You've got a lot of stuff now. Because we had Brutal 2, Brutal 3 beforehand. We had multiple damage weapons beforehand in the second edition, but there wasn't much of them. Now a lot of weapons have multiple damage weapons. And now there's more of it. So you can blow... I'm wondering if they're going to be as resilient as they were before. They were scarily resilient before, but still not overpowered because their weakness is close combat. Their weakness is close combat. They're still not as good as Space Marines, but some of them have got weapon skill 4 now, and a Magos with higher initiative. Back to it. It's weird. Some of their close combat prowess has been pulled up a little bit. But they are gonna suffer multiple damage hits, and there's more of it out there. That's one of the things I worry about on the tabletop. The other thing I worry about on the tabletop is I can't find line in it anywhere. Has anyone found any line in this book? Because so far, the games of 40k the games of 30k that I'm playing, line wins you games. I recommend to anyone watching this who's starting Heresy, who's playing Heresy 3.0, with anyone, you need a minimum of 2 tactical marines and rhinos. That'll win you the game. Or despoilers of line 2 as well. But a good list will have 3 units of tacticals in it. Perhaps 1 on the home field objective, 1 in a rhino, 1. But you need tactical marine. Top 3 units in the new Heresy by a long way. Number 1, tactical marines in a rhino. Number 2, a Spartan. Spartans are crazy. Played a game yesterday. I saw the first Spartan death. Haven't seen a Spartan death yet. That was the first Spartan death in 9 games. And number 3 is Praetorian command squads with 2-up saves, weapon skill 5, and a combat shield. I can see the tournament lists being triple rhinos, triple retinues, all with 2-up saves, all with combat shields, all with 3 attacks, pushing. Rhino rushing with retinues without anyone attached to them. You're going to get them. 3 of them going up the table. 3 rhinos with tactical marines in, and a chunk of tactical marines on a home field objective somewhere. And then guns. That's going to be the tournament list. But yeah, no line in the Mechanicum book. Makes me a bit worried. How will they score? How will they perform? Joseph True. Thank you for being a member for 25 months. You absolute legend, sir. What do we think, chat? Mechanicum, I'm here to answer any 40k questions that you might have, any Mechanicum questions that you might have, anything. The main takeaway from Mechanicum is tech priests everywhere. I brought minimum 2, normally 3 most of the time in the last edition. I will be bringing... Last edition was minimum 2, mainly 3. This time around it'll be minimum 3, maybe 4 Archmagos and Magoses. But probably just 3. I mean, you can do tech priests everywhere if you want to, because tech priests will be able to heal the stuff. I have a little tech priest running around everywhere, giving out cyberthergic rights. But you can't give cyberthergic rights to tanks and Uzuraks and Thalax, and there's plenty of other things that will not require the rights, so you don't need that many tech priests. What's on the schedule this week? Tomorrow we have a Grey Knights versus Dark Angels tomorrow. Come on. Dark Angels like keeping secrets. Grey Knights keeping secrets. Plus, I was really keen to play some Grey Knights finally. So I played some Grey Knights. So that's coming out tomorrow. And then Sunday, I've got that Hobby Apocalypse one to do, and it's 500 edits. It's huge, 500 clips. It's going to take me forever to edit that, so that might not be coming out this Sunday. I might put something else out on. I'll have to do it for Sunday. Damn it. Say hi, Paul has been a member for 37 Months. Thank you. Say hi, Paul. You absolute legend. Would you like some toast? I would love some toast. Who doesn't like toast? Toast is cool. Tebris have controller rule to score. Yeah. What do you think of the new combat patrol boxes in the 3 core armies? Also, yes, they're all good, Christian. I like them all. That's good. They clearly had that one in the chamber, didn't they? Hey, here's Heresy, and here's some new combat stuff going on. They look good. Yeah. If you're starting Heresy 3.0, you'll want... They put the right things in the box. So for Solar Auxilia, you want that. Admech, you want that. And Legionary, you want that. You want a Leviathan Dreadnought. You want troops. You want a transport. It's in there. Would you want a Custodes one? Yes. I would like a Custodes one. What do you think they would include in that? I don't know, because I strongly suspect that... See, Custodes and 40k, Custodes have crossed the streams. And you buy them from... The models that you use in 40k are the same models that you would use in Heresy. And Games Workshop hate that. They want you to buy everything again. They want you to buy your Rhino, all your things again. So they can't... So I suspect when the new Custodes thing comes out, we're going to get... It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Is Vulcan making a... Vulcan is making a comeback. How about... I'd love a toast. I'd love a muffin. Why are we talking about food? Vulcan is coming back. All of the Primarchs coming back. I'm thinking Cybernetica with all Automata and Tech Priests. Maybe the Reductor with 3 beefed up Thalax units. Yeah, I mean, the Thalax though. You could give all the Thalax multi-melters and melter bombs and deep strike one of them in and have the other 2 units jumping around, and those Thalax will have a 5-up invulnerable save. That would work. I think the tanks one is particularly strong though, having 3 tanks with... But the Myrmidon one is stupidly strong. It's all Myrmidons. It's going to be Myrmidons. When those Myrmidons come out in plastic, they're going to sell them by the bucket load. What Mark power armor you like the most? See, you're asking... Look, I like McCorvus power armor for my Night Lords and my Raven Guard and armies like that. Not that I have Night Lords, but I like... They fit that armor. If you're doing Iron Warriors, if you're doing Dark Angels, you might want Crusade era Mark II armor. If you're doing Sons of Horus, you might want Mark V armor. If you're doing Death Guard, you might want Mark III armor. I like... Not that... All the legions have access to all the things all the time. You can build your legion however you want it to look like. But using whatever armor you want to use, whatever mark you want to use. None of the legions were dramatically undersupplied apart from the White Scars, but that was their fault. They had a lot of Mark II. But by the time the Heresy came round, it's implied that they had some resupply at some point here, there and everywhere. Because there's that lady with them who, you know, in the Era of Ruin, that one, who goes away to a garden at the end of the war, does some gardening with a Space Marine who does some gardening. It's an amazing scene. She gets them resupplied, you know? So, I like them all. I like the hammers. I like the war and the hammers. I like all the marks. I like all the marks. What mark is the favourite mark, guys? Does anyone have a favourite mark? Like, this is my favourite mark. I really like the marked... Favourite looking Space Marine armour of all time, I think, was the OG Mark III resin armour. The one where the grills looked, and the packs, they looked almost like medieval knights. You know, those big face grill things. OG Mark III armour. That looked mean. So I quite like... That's probably my favourite aesthetically looking. But again, if I was running a legionary force of White Scars, I wouldn't be using Mark III, you know? Give all the tech priests Cognis add-on and remove the barrage restriction. Okay. Don't know about Myrmidax 1. Only one unit gets the prime benefit. Yeah, but you can bring loads of Myrmidax. Because you know how hard it is to get the... That's the veteran slot, Myrmidax. So that's the veteran slot. Yeah. And you can't get veterans in the normal auxiliary slot in the big book. The only way to get veterans is in an apex slot in the big book, and that gives you 4 of them. So you can get a lot of them. You get more than you normally can. You know what I mean? Beginning to shoot in a challenge seems strong. It depends on the challenger. That's another thing. I've done a few challenges now. Like when I was playing Heresy yesterday, when I was learning Heresy, the challenges were like, oh, I didn't even put one in the first battle report because it's like another thing to learn, another thing to do. But now I'm at a point where I'm rather looking forward to the challenges. It's like we're coming out in the big fight, go, right, this challenge, and this little mini story. You step back and you do this little mini story in the middle of your fight. How does it go? Did one where it was literally a centurion with an axe versus a centurion with a sword. Went on for 5 minutes, backwards and forwards, guard up, and strike, and the thing, and it was good. It was a good one, and yeah, it tells stories. The little challenge when someone doesn't just get smashed and dead, which happens, and it happened in the previous edition. I challenge you. I accept. Bang, dead. Oh, okay. That happened then, it happens now. But when it doesn't happen now, and someone doesn't die straight away, and it goes backwards and forwards, a little story erupts. And stories are good. Heresy players really like stories. Who'd have thought it? I have the current Mark 10 Swordbreven variant, very knightly. Yeah, the Mark 10 armor, I like. Space Marine 2, Mark 10 armor all over the place. Lovely stuff. Mark 3 iron armor. Yeah. Have we shed tears for the now redundant White Scars Bark armies out there? Dude, it's going to come back round, right? That's what happens with Games Workshop. It always comes back round. The White Scars Bike armies will come back round. It's just they're dead now. Why did they have to kill them now? Lots of White Scars Bike armies were beautiful. Drop pod armies, beautiful. It'll come back round. Hi, Italy. Getting into challenges, love to hear it. I like the alternating actions in a challenge. Makes it feel like a story. Exactly. Heresy players like stories. I think that's why it's a little bit disappointing that they took away some of the storytelling in Rites of War. Like Rites of War now are ways to monkey around with your detachments and bring more units of X or Y. That's what the Rite of War is. And some of those detachments have restrictions like this X or Y must be X, or this Y must be Y. And it's basically about adding units. But Rites of War weren't just about adding units. They were also about decapitation strike. Get 2 points if you kill the enemy warlord. They were also rampagers. Take loads of rampages, ignore the first wound coming through. They had rules wrapped in them as well. So it wasn't just about unlocking units, it was also about little stories. What story do you want to tell on the battlefield? And that's taking that away. I think that was a mistake. I think Heresy players like stories, and I think the Rite of War was a story at Force Org right away. And I hope they bring it back for 4th edition. Something like that. Some kind of story. It doesn't have to be. I'm not saying go back to what it was. I'm not saying, hey, let's. No, we're not doing that. What we're doing is, if they want to keep the system that they have now, then just add some storytelling elements to it. Like if you bring this Rite of War, your army can do this, or your own can do that, or there's things they could do there. But the force organization thing now is 7 pages with the flowchart. It's just crazy. It's all over the place. Ah dear. How do you tell stories with progressive scoring missions? I'm finding that tough. It's rough, isn't it? It's hard. Evening, Blake Anderson. Yeah, it's... See, that's another thing. 3 missions in the book, and they're progressive scoring. They could bring 3 more missions out. In the main book, this is what should be in the main rule book. You could have 3 with progressive scoring, and 3 which is like line breaker. 3 which is like hold the zones, like they had in the previous edition. 3, another one where you can score your objectives at the end, but you just want to kill each other, like War of Lies. So you just focus on killing, and then the line thing will kick in, or the Vanguard will kick in at the end of the game, because are you on those objectives at the end of the game? There was an opportunity for both. It doesn't have to just go one way or t'other. You can have objective scoring missions, and you can have other types of scoring missions. And the other types of scoring missions just inherently tell a more story than I need to hold on to this objective, and then I need to hold on to this objective, then I need to hold on. If the mission was like, I need to get there, I need to get all my troops into your deployment zone, and you need to get all your troops into my deployment zone, so not only do I need to get how much of my force do I want to put in defense, stopping you getting here? Do I put all my force in defense and then drop 1 or 2 units up there and just build a wall, Gandalf it up, you shall not pass? Or do I go, hell, throw that out the window, I'll have a token force back here, and I just throw everything and try and get everything into your deployment? That tells a story, that line break thing. It tells more of a story than I need to hold this objective, then I need to hold this objective. Yeah, there's more than, yeah. I generally think the best tactics journal will be the one they are, yeah, they're, did I hear that they're doing a tactics journal for Heresy? Did I hear that there's some kind of DLC coming out, which is, more missions journal? Or am I making that up? Did I read that somewhere? 2, says the Eternal Crusader, for the Mark of the Armour, which we asked ages ago. But thanks for catching up. They should bring in games like Capture the Flag and Plant the Bomb. There should definitely be task orientated. A battle has a... Yes. Yeah, they should. I mean, yeah. Let's test something. AdMech. Yeah, definitely not Gaia. What do you want to know about AdMech? What do you want to know about AdMech? What you could do is go back about 15 minutes and hear me rant about it for a bit. I did the homework. Mechanicum homework. Done. I read it all. I've done it all. I missed the bin. And it's right there. Do it again. I'm not doing it again. You're back. Did you look at the book? I did look at the book. New AdMech box. Yeah, the new box looks like a great deal. If you were starting AdMech, I'd get 2 of them. What's your 3.0 list idea for AdMech? I haven't got that far yet. I've got about 5,000 points worth of AdMech, maybe 6. That's where I am. My collection is very AdMech. It's very cybernetic heavy. So I want to field a heavily cybernetic list, and I want to field... I've also got quite a few tanks and Ozaraks and Thalax and Myrmidons, and quite a non-cybernetic list as well. I want to show both sides of the Tagmata at war. Thank you for gifting a membership, Andy H. I love you. I love you so much. Thank you. GG's in the chat for Andy H, please. You didn't say Kobe before you shot it. I know, man. I should have definitely said Kobe. I wouldn't get too... Because bringing 2 Thanatars is tough. Why is bringing 2 Thanatars tough? Definitely bring 2 Thanatars. They can actually fight now. And the gun is still... I'm pleased the gun wasn't nerfed into the ground. The lightning cannon, though. Lightning cannon on the Krios Venator. That looks juicy. Get yourself a couple of Krios Venators, lads. Flat 2 damage. Synopsis of AdMech review. Shooting is good. Tanks are goodier. Where's the line? Yeah, synopsis is it's a gun army. If you want to add a Mechanicum allied force, then I would get a Thanatar with a really big gun. It's still a Thanatar. It's still a chunk of Myrmidons. And it's still probably burying your tech priest in amongst, or your magos in amongst 20 tech thralls who are suddenly toughness 5 all of a sudden. For the last 16 years, tech thralls have been toughness 3. Toughness 3. Puny humans. And now they're toughness 5 with a feel no pain. Crazy. So yeah, stick your dude in. That's your allied thing. But if you're building it as a primary, then it wants you to pick a thing. Pick all the Myrmidax, pick all the Uzurax, pick all the Thalax, pick all the It wants you to pick a thing and buff the thing and then add some other stuff. And it's a gun. It's all going to be all about the gun. And I don't know how well they're going to do because of scoring, because they don't have line. And can you bring them back to life? Huh? Do you see yourself adding Gene Stealer cults to your Tyranids? No. Why or why not, in your opinion? Also, GG for the gifting guy. Yeah, no, GG for the gifting guy. GG, Standy H. I have too many armies. That's why. I can barely keep it all. It's hard. How many? I mean, 6 legions, the heresy. 6 legions, knights, admech, and custodes. So that's 9 armies right there. And then in 40k, there's like 12. I mean, it's not, say, high pool levels, but it's hard. Can you guys keep up with the meta? Do you know what's happening? When is the next balanced data slate coming? What are the points these days? It's like Heresy 2.0 took me about a year and a half in. I just about kind of got it down. Maybe 2 years in. Okay, 2 years in, I got it down. Took me about 2 years to get it down and learn all the things. And that's Heresy 2.0 because it doesn't shift. I learned all yes. And then they changed it a year later. And now we're in Heresy 3.0. It's going to take me about 2 years to learn all the things. And what I mean is like the front armor value of a Leman Russ battle tank, things like that. What's the strength and damage of a las cannon, things like that. To learn all the things, it's going to take me about 2 years, and then they'll change all the things. 40k is a moving target. It's like we're at some kind of fair with cork guns, and it's like I don't know what's going on. Do you know what's going on? Jink, what's meta? What is the meta? I think it's something to do with Facebook. No clue. I'm more of a collector painter than a player. No. It's just definitely not gay. It just says no. No. It's so adding another thing. I don't know if you noticed, like on the channel, I tend to do armies in batches. Like I did the Traitor Guard bit for a chunk. And then push them to one side. I did the Grey Knights for a chunk. And then put them on there. There's a couple of Grey Knight battle reports coming out in a row now. Because new Grey Knight Codex. And I really, really like Grey Knights. But I think they're the baddies now. Attacking other Space Marines. Disgusting. Disgusting. Where do they get off attacking other Space Marines? That's disgusting. To steal their little psychers. Written into the law. Grey Knights. We're the baddies now. You could probably knew they were the baddies because they had lots of skulls. But yeah, it's just I do the things in chunks, you know. According to Eternal Crusader, what disgusting? Yeah, not touched 40k since before the Arcs of Omen. Yeah. Were they ever good? Of course they were good. Of course, the Grey Knights were the goodest of the goodest. The Grey Knights are I mean, all Space Marines are heroes. All Space Marines are clearly the good guys. And Grey Knight Space Marines are the best of the best. They're the SAS of the things until they were the cream on the cake. And then Custodes came out and sort of pissed in their chips. But they were the cream on the cake. You couldn't get better until the Custodes came out. And then I bought Custodes straight away and started playing Custodes straight away because I like the power armored nut jobs. But Grey Knights are clearly the good guys. They go into the warp to fight demons. They don't wait for demons to come here. They go chasing those bitches down, yo. Didn't they wear the blood of some sisters some time off? No, that was a while ago. No one's forgot about the blood of the sisters thing. Don't worry about that. That was fine as well, by the way. You're allowed to do that because they were killing demons. They weren't killing loyalists. 10th, maybe start heresy and forget about 40k. The pace of change is relentless. It is, say hi, Paul. It is relentless. It doesn't stop. So you just about lock in on a thing and then it shifts. And you just about lock in on a thing and then it shifts. And 40k is always shifting all the time. I'm in constant learn mode here. 11 years old today. 11 years of Winter's SEO YouTube channel today. This is happy anniversary, guys. And 11 years. See, the thing is, as you get older, they reckon like grandparents and stuff should do like more chess or crossword puzzles. It stops them from going a bit, what's the word? Dementia? That's the word? Yeah, them. You're supposed to keep using your brain. So I suppose I should thank Games Workshop. Because I'm in constant learn mode all the time. Cultured American. You're a tween. You're a tweed. I hate to think that. That stung a little bit. Oh dear. Doolally. What brain? Exactly. What brain? You got to keep the brain juices flowing. It's relentless. Grey Knights lost all their dead though. How silly of them. I haven't counted recently, but I'm pushing 3 figures. Yes. You look a little old for an 11-year-old. You should talk to your school counsellor. 11 years of YouTube. 11 years of this and we're still here. Haven't cancelled me yet. Don't even try to keep up with the meta, to be honest. I tried. I did, honestly, for a bit. I tried to keep up with the meta. I failed. Every now and then there is a battle report that appears on the channel at the time of something actually launching. I think I might actually hit that nail on the head like 2 or 3 times a year. I got one coming up, which I'm filming on Thursday, which might be coming out for a launch, which might be happening soonish. And I think that might be the first one I've done this year. No, I did the Eldar one as well, didn't I? I think I hit Eldar. Was that last year? But yeah, I can't keep up. So when are we saying Templars on the show? Next Wednesday. This Wednesday, Grey Knights versus Dark Angels. Training mission. After they've burnt the heretics and gone to Tuesday's book club, the Dark Angels and Grey... This is lore accurate. Lore accurate. Dark Angels like keeping secrets. Grey Knights keeping secrets. They're in a book club together. They exchange tomes backwards and forwards with each other. Hungry Hippos. Harry Potter, things like that, exclusive ancient classics from M2. They exchange the books and then they go down to the training cages and punch each other. So we got that tomorrow. And then next week it's Black Templars versus Grey Knights, and that's not a training mission because Black Templars hate the witch apparently, and they don't like Grey Knights, and so so yeah, some Grey Knights. Must be proper ball ache creating content in the ever-evolving Games Workshop world of facts and updates. Dude, there are also a couple of videos every year that I cannot put out because a fact or an update has changed something relentlessly, completely. So that battle report can't be... it's completely out of date. Sometimes, if the fact is a little bit of a tweak, or if the points costs haven't changed too much. I just put it out there anyway with a disclaimer in the title or a disclaimer in the video, or I just put it out there and don't mention anything and wait to see if someone mentions something in the comments like, wait, 1 minute, that looked a bit too cheap for the points cost now. That looked a bit too expensive for the points cost now. Or shouldn't have you remembered this bit when you shot the thing at the thing? And I'm like, yeah, I should have remembered the thing when I shot the thing at the thing. You're absolutely right. But I didn't remember the thing when I shot the thing at the thing because the thing has only just changed from a recent fact thing and I didn't forget anything at all. You know what I mean? That. So it's impossible to keep up. So sometimes I don't even bother. Raging Horde. Thank you for being a member. Only 6 months. Oh, you little toddler, you. Do you play any non-Games Workshop games? There's one with boats that I played once, and then Mike's coming around in the week this week later on, and we're playing boats again, and I forget what it's called. Someone said Black Sails or something, but it's not that. It's something else. And Raging Horn has also gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. Can we get some GGs in the chat for Raging Horn, please? For gifting 5 memberships. Keeping the lights on. You legend. But, no. Apart from that Chips one, I haven't played any non-Games Workshop war games for a long time. But back in the day, I have played other non-Games Workshop games. And particularly when it comes to role-playing games and things like that, back in my teenage years, did a lot of Warhammer Fantasy roleplay, but also, Paranoia and White Wolf, that sort of things. Cybernetica, Cyberpunk 2077. Brendan, hello. It's 6 a.m. in Australia, is it? What's the weather like? Is that the one with the giant pirate ship and you just can't... No, it's not one. No, the ship's one. It had some ships on a thing and some islands and we were shooting at each other. I'll have to find out what the name is. I wasn't really paying that much attention. Mike was setting it all up and talking, and I was just like, the thing I said earlier on, like keeping it all in here, it was going in and it was coming out. It was just pouring. It was like a waterfall through my brain. Words would come. It was Niagara out of my other ear. It's like, That's what I heard. And I was like, yeah, sure. Okay, so the wind is coming in this direction. Let's go. Let's tack for the wind. And then later on in the mission, I'll be with the wind behind me and maybe that will help me. And you know what? It did and I won. Any chance an SDC episode is coming out soon? We should be filming one tomorrow, Wrath of Constantine. Warsmith Chris, we're here chatting. He's had babies, he's had life things happening, but I really need to talk about... Yes, we've got one coming out. We're filming tomorrow, allegedly, if you can make it. And then, the idea is we do one summarizing Heresy 3.0 in some sort of... Because people keep asking, what is your review? And you guys who come along to live stream, God bless you, everyone, know my views by now, because on the live stream, if people want to know, come here, ask me, I'll tell you. But other people who don't come here, you're not an exclusive club like you guys. Coming to the live streams on Tuesdays, you are the exclusive club. You are the true ones. You're the real ones. And the VOD squad who watch it after, you're the real ones. But there's a chunk of people who are like, I know I'm not a real one, but what's your review on the thing? I need to do the review on the thing. So we need to do an SDC. We need to do... It wasn't Dreadfleet. Do you think Battlefield Gothic will come back? I do think Battlefield Gothic will come back. I think Games Workshop have got... they've got a nasty habit of re-releasing everything, haven't they? So I'm sure Battlefield Gothic will come back at some point. But mind you, I don't know how successful it was. If it didn't sell at all, maybe it won't come back at all. Like, I keep waiting for Space Hulk to come back. Where's the next edition of Space Hulk? If they released Space Hulk again, I would play the crap out of that game. Victory at Seas? No. How is your life outside of YouTube and Warhammers? Oh, sometimes I leave the house. Space Ock, I know, right? I would kill to see 30k Battlefleet Gothic. About 30k Battlefleet Gothic? That would be cool. 30k Battlefleet Gothic. Mind you, Legion Imperialis, I think, they slipped. Legion Imperialis was set in the time of the heresy. They missed a trick there, right? If we could have orcs and Eldar and like the old epic, you could play against. It didn't just have to be Imperial stuff. There was orcs, there was Tyranids, there was all sorts of stuff in the epic, and they missed a trick there. And I think Imperialis would have been more successful if there was some Xenos race, if it wasn't set in heresy times. So I'm wondering if Battlefleet Gothic shouldn't be set in heresy times, because then you can have Necron ships and all sorts of things, you know? Have you heard rumours of heresy Battlefleet Gothic? No. Have you ever thought about having a 4-person podcast stream thing with some of your amigos discussing all things? No. That sounds like a nightmare. 4 of us in a room together, shouting over one microphone. It'll get very hot and very sweaty. Also, getting everyone round at the same time, over the microphone at the same time, that's like an impossibility. It's like it's hard to cross the streams, to get the people at the same time to do the same things. It's hard. People's calendars, and life happens. Should I bring my unpainted Space Hulk to the End and the Death? No. Because after the End and the Death games, we'll be playing casual games and getting drunk, and I wouldn't want to see it get damaged. They could add orcs in Legion Imperialis. They have Dark Mech. Look, they can add orcs in Heresy, and they can add Eldar in Heresy, and I think they should. I think the Warhammer Horus Heresy should be set around the time of the Warhammer Horus Heresy. And I think there should be scope in the Warhammer Horus Heresy missions and game to play against Xenos forces before the Heresy and some stuff after the Heresy. It should be around that time. Like Warhammer 40k is set around that time. You can play missions and games set on Cadia if you want to, or set on Armageddon with Yarrick if you want to. Your games are not happening right now, and you can set, it's around that time, and Heresy should be around that time. And I think there should be orcs. Should be lots of orcs. All of your own, 4 on screen like blankety blank. All right, do a podcast with 4 people on screen at the same time. Yeah, that would be a great idea. No idea how to do that. Hype for the End and the Death event coming soon. Yes, the End and the Death. September the 27th and 28th at Element Games in Manchester. The End and the Death narrative event run by me. Tickets on sale from marchofwar.co.uk. We sold all the tickets again. He was really keen to tell me like about 8-9 days ago, oh, we sold all the tickets again. It's like, yeah. And I think one more has now become available again. There's always a person falling out. There's always someone leaving for some reason. But yeah, if you would like to take part in a 2-day 4-battle narrative event at Element Games in Manchester, then get your tickets from marchofwar.co.uk. And I'll see you there. And you get to play inside my brain. If ever you've watched a narrative campaign on the channel, if you're members, you've probably watched them all. But if you ever watched a narrative campaign on the channel where I monkey around with the rules and the missions and some of the funny, that's what's going to happen if you come along to the End of the Death. I will do things to you that you will not like. There'll be many random events, many random mission things. Not many random events. There's some random events, random mission things. It's a story. There is no winner. There is no first place for coming first. We're going to give away prizes for best armies or most narrative army, that sort of thing. It doesn't have to be best painted, but the one that just leans into the narrative for the end of the death, post-apocalyptic, rad-saturated nuclear wasteland, which is dead. You're fighting on a corpse world. And the Great Rift is pushing ever closer, the ticking clock. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Would love to go, but I'm at mini wargaming again. Nice! Do I need lube? Yes, I will do inappropriate things. You will need the lube. It will make things easier for both of us. Oh dear. Yeah, so that's coming. Yeah, 11 years of YouTube, guys. It's been a bumpy ride. I've been surprised that we've even got here, and surprised by many of the people and people I've met and things I've done along the way. But we're here still. It's amazing, and I'm very, very lucky. Thank you very much. What else do we want to talk about? So I painted a thing. I've done some things. I'm doing the Emperor's Children. I read the Mechanicum book. I need to do a 9th edition playlist, which will happen at some point. If you've seen you've seen the Dawn of War reveals, Dawn of War 2 remastered, Dawn of War 4, right? You've seen them. You've seen the new boxes. We talked about them. The new Nightbringer looks sweet. The new Nightbringer looks surprisingly like the Den of Imagination Nightbringer. You know, the one that I use in battle reports, the Death Reaper. You can get my Death Reaper Nightbringer proxy model from Den of Imagination. Or you can go to muchmore.co.uk because he's got a manufacturer's license to print and sell it there. Haven't seen Emperor's Children on the channel for a bit. I know, right? Because I need to do the vehicles for the Emperor's Children. I need to do the 2 rhinos and the Land Raider I've got and show a different sort of thing. And I need to paint Fulgrim. It's because what happened is I lent in to Heresy 3.0 came out, so I started doing a bunch of bits for the Heresy to add back into there. Like the Gorgon Terminators. Here's the thing, guys. Chat, have you started doing this yet? I've started ripping off all the weapons. Like this guy used to have a Graviton Shredder. And I know you can take the Graviton Shredder because the Legacies PDF has come out, a 200-page document. But I put all the combi bolters on there. Like the Terminators for the Raven Guard. They used to have red claws because they could take Raven's Talons. But now only the characters can take Raven's Talons. So all the ones who aren't characters, I've changed their claws back to normal claws. And I'm starting to go through. I'm not going to do all of the ones. I'm not changing all of the Heresy things. Some of them will still be Legacy. But the quick wins, I've started going through the quick wins and changing some of the weapon options, changing some of the bits, updating it, right? You guys, anyone else out there updating the thing? I have 20 breaches with Volkite to rearm with bolters. Do breaches still have Volkite in the Legacies document? I know, like, I was going to start ripping off all the arms from all the Immortals that I have because they can't take chainswords anymore. But the Legacies document, they can take their chainswords again. And I painted 45 Immortals with chainswords. So they're not getting all that. I'm going to use the Legacies for them because I'm not going through 45 more. Quick wins. We said quick wins. I've just stuck 40 Rhino exhausts on Legion Imperialis Rhinos. I need to lie down. Nice! That sounds cute. I love the little cute ones. And then Legion Imperialis. And then they get little bigger ones. And then they're going to have even bigger and bigger ones coming out, aren't they? And the Titans and things. Have you ever tried slap chop painting? Yes. Yes, I have tried slap chop painting. And I did a tutorial on how to paint black quickly and easily. Painting black quickly and easily with Raven Guard. And that's basically slap chop, a version of slap chop. Lighter with the slappy and the choppy. So it isn't like bam, 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 it isn't. But basically, black isn't black. It's black. If black is brown, black. Nothing's proper black. You know that paint, that totally black paint that absorbs 99.999%. That black. It looks like a hole in your screen when people hold up a paint can with that black on it. Nothing's black. Black has got lots of colours in it. So yeah, Slaptop is my bae. I did a whole Raven Guard tutorial on it, and the Raven Guard looks sweet. Power side's got a nice glow up, yep. The Vet Breachers can Volkite, but ballistic skill for... they're made for melee. Okay. So Vet Breachers can Volkite still. So what you're saying is the 30 Volkite Breachers that I've got in my Death Guard are now Vet Breachers. Good. Good. Because I'm not redoing 30 guys. If there's quick wins, like the Terminators, there were 6 of them. The Gorgons, 3 of them to get rid of their Grav Shredders. I do like the Gorgons though. Do you remember? I did a battle report and they didn't have any guns. Now they got guns again. Well done, Games Workshop. I didn't do that on purpose either. I'm saying I wanted to Iron Hands. I wanted to do the Iron Hands because they're my biggest collection. So it's like, hey, Alex, come around. We've got to film the thing. Let's set up got all this. And I've got to put the Gorgons on because Iron Hands, Gorgons, classic. And then we set it all up. And then I started looking through the thing and they don't have guns. And it's like the setup move and the terrain thing, like more than 3 inches away in the battle report. They're too far away. I can't see you. Can't charge you. Can't. It was like, you know, that happened in the middle of a game while I'm filming. So if I'd have known, I mean, I think most Heresy games going forward, it's like medium terrain's dead. Everything's light terrain now. How could they go from terrain rules which were really good to terrain rules that are a big pile of pants? It's like even 40k terrain rules are better than the Heresy terrain rules. Not that anyone uses the full gamut of terrain in 40k. It's all L-shaped cards all over the place. But at least they've got rules for woods and for enclosed buildings and for industrial structures. And at least they've got pages with a picture telling you what it does and how it does it. Whereas 30k, it's like, well, there's 5 things. There's medium, there's light, medium, heavy, difficult, dangerous, and you can apply it as you want. Terrain. But what about a barrel? What about a barricade? What if I'm stood behind a barricade? What about this? What about that? It's just like I said at the very start of the video, the Heresy 3.0 has got some of the best rules writing and some of the worst rules writing I've seen together in a book. It's so chalk and cheese. It's incredible. You can tell it's the first pass at something they're going to want to build on over the next couple of editions, probably. I don't know. Gorgon's alive. Gordon's alive. Thoughts on Exodus ballistic skill being higher than a Vindicare assassin? Yeah, that's not right, is it? That's not right. That's not right. Like medium terrain and Heresy, it's not right. Everything's light terrain now. Just everything's light terrain. Exodus, though, a proper Exodus. You're talking about Sharukin. You're talking about Narek. I mean, these guys can hit the side of a barn door from 10 miles away. These are good shots. But Vindicare in Nemesis, where he takes the shot over the hill, through the building, down into the... Yeah. I really hope they start building on those things like terrain with journals. Yeah. And you can take multiple... Can you take multiple Exodus, Exodi? Yes. Are we talking medium, or medium? I think we're talking medium. Not medium. I mean, who goes medium? Never go full medium. We're talking medium. That's a deep question, the Eternal Crusader. That's good. Medium. I made my... Yeah. Oh dear. Where were we? Can I come back? Yes, you can come back to the front. You made me laugh. Come back to the front of the class. Okay. And don't wipe your bogies on Jink's jacket as you make your way to the front, please. Yeah, I mean, even if I'm still, yes, tombs, that's what they do. It's lonely. It's not lonely at the back. There's plenty of people at the back. Plenty of people have been sent to the back. That's where the cool kids are. Right. What are we talking about? What do you want to talk about, chat? I think I've covered everything. We're an hour and a half in. I've covered everything. Blood Buffalo isn't here, so I can't roast him about the Bills' performance over the weekend, which is hilarious. P-Jams, wish they would release some of the second ed card terrain sets they did. Yeah, I mean, nostalgia-wise, they could probably do that, couldn't they? They could probably... Yeah. Do you think Games Workshop will do a retro miniatures range at some point where they just release some of the old retro miniatures in plastic just for painters and collectors? I think there's money in that idea as well. Like releasing retro, you know, the old Space Marine plastic guys. They'd probably sell quite a few of them. I really don't mind the medium terrain rules. It's a terrible idea. It really does equalize varying quality of terrain. Look. See, Blake. What's wrong with true line of sight? Here is your battlefield. True line of sight. Had any tasty cheese lately? No. They did that last time. They're already doing that. Made to order models. Made to order retro kits. Do they do made to order retro kits? See, I can't keep up. It's impossible to keep up with everything. I mean, retro kits, like the 80s, 90s kits. They do that far back retro kits made to order. Do they? They keep churning out made to order old models. Molds would be there to launch as a big release. Okay. Your old Ulthwy Farseer Council was on... Right, okay. So they do... See, so there you go. There's me thinking that's what they should probably do and make loads of... And they're doing it already. Yeah. I'll send you the link. Thank you. Pop it in the Discord. I'll check it out. Because I can't keep up. But yeah, I mean, medium terrain, man. Bringing along arbitrary rules, saying that this thing can't see that thing anymore because of a rule. Particularly in a heresy game. In a heresy game, which is all about storytelling, it's all about, if my Vindicare, I pulled him around, or my Exodus, or my Exodai, pulled him around so he can see through the top floor of those buildings there, through that window, and between those two walls, and down the thing. So if anything crosses that street down there, my Vindicare and my Exodai can take his head off. Beautiful. Heresy. That's what I want to see. I don't want some arbitrary rule imposed upon me telling me that the terrain stops that. What I want is rules for the terrain. I want my tank traps to do something. They're difficult. I want my buildings to do something. I want my woods to do something. I want my hills to do something. I want... If there's one thing they could have left. See, this is the other thing. Let's rant a bit more. Okay, we're going to rant a bit more. Games Workshop said Heresy 3.0 will still be the game that you know and love. We've made a few tweaks. They said that. Still will the game you know and love. A few tweaks. That was an untruth. They changed the movement phase. You can get out of a rhino after it moves 12 and then get out 7 inches and then charge. They changed the movement phase. They changed the shooting phase. All the profiles of all the weapons have changed. They've changed the charge phase. In the middle of the charge phase, there's another shooting phase called the volley fire attack. And they put challenges in there. They changed the bit at the beginning with the force organization chart, and they changed the bit at the end with the missions and how they changed everything. It was an untruth what they said, and they even changed the terrain rules as well. If there was one thing they could have left, one thing that would have worked just as well with this edition as the previous edition that they didn't have to touch, is the 2 pages of the terrain. Just cut and paste and stick that in. They cut and paste the entire book, the entire lore for Heresy 3.0. For guys, if you don't know, if you just picked up Heresy 3.0 and didn't pick up Heresy 2.0, here's something that you might not know. All the lore bits in the main rule book in Heresy 3.0 is cut and pasted from 2.0. I have been in the hobby since 1986, and they have never, in any edition change for any system, cut and pasted the lore section from one edition to another. Not for Old World, not for Heresy, not for 40k, not for AOS. They haven't. But they have now. From Heresy 2.0 to Heresy 3.0, the lore, that 100 plus pages at the beginning, cut and paste, boom. The only changes is in the timeline. There's a timeline section right at the very end of the lore where in 3.0, the End and the Death and the Siege of Terror wasn't finished, so it finishes before the finish. That timeline page at the end. And now in the new book, they've got 2 more pages closing out the timeline because it has ended. I wouldn't read it if you're doing the Heresy because it will spoil things for you. Horus dies. The Emperor ends up on the throne. I've spoiled it already. Okay, so sorry. It's spoiled. I've spoiled it. But that's what, the Titanic, it sinks. Don't watch the movie. You know how it ends. Sinks. And there was plenty of room on the bookshelf for him as well. Rose, he could have... Leo could have been on there too. Yeah, cut and paste. Cut and paste. Bam, boom, in. So we know they can cut and paste for Heresy 3.0. They could have cut and pasted the terrain. Wow, spoilers. Horus does what? He dies. He died it. He died it in the end. It was a man killing another man with a knife. I thought I'd feel the same about line of sight models dying and not having a position in individual characters, but yeah, now models can be shot out of line of sight. I don't think that's because in Heresy previously you could only kill what you could see, so you could shoot stuff and take a couple of guys away, but you couldn't overkill and you couldn't kill a bunch of guys that you can't. I mean, that's a bit much of a muchness thing. It's like, do you hide your whole thing or do you have them? That one is fine. Whatever mechanic they want to pick. Do they want to pick a mechanic where you can only kill what you can see, or pick a mechanic where it spills over and kills some stuff that you can't see? I don't have a dog in that fight, Rose proper shafted poor Jack there. She did. There was definitely room on that bookcase. That was a big book. Also, Leo back then as well. He was a skinny little fellow, wasn't he? That was back in his boy band phase, during his K-pop era. Leo DiCaprio K-pop. He didn't weigh more than a wafer thin mint. He could have fit on that bookcase. Now Leo, middle-aged man phase, Oscar-winning phase. He probably couldn't. It'd probably fall off. It was a door, not a bookcase. I thought it was a whole bookcase. It's not just. It was bigger. That couldn't be a door. Because was it a door? Service Goal, thank you for gifting a membership. Can we get some GGs in the chat for Service Goal, please? Was it a door? I thought it was a big bookcase. Have I been labouring under a misapprehension all this time? But anyway, yeah. It was a big door. It wasn't just a door. It was a big door. Paint me like one of your friends. Was it? paint me like one of your French girls. It literally comes from that movie, that line. Oh dear. Whatever happened to Kate Winslet? She was amazing in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I thought it was the AdMech Codex she was laying on. The AdMech's Codex. Evening, Sullivan Gilbert. Welcome to the chat. Yeah. Someone asked in the chat. Sullivan is here. He asked in the chat the other day for a good source of pictures and lore for the AdMech. So I came upstairs and looked in this book to write. Okay, let's see if this is a good source of lore for the AdMech. And we've got that page. We've got that page. And that's it. That's it. And then that's rules stuff. We got 4 pages of lore. And then as for pictures, not really. So the 30k AdMech Codex is not a good source of lore or art. So I had a look at the 40k one. Surely the 40k one will be a good source of lore or art. I'm yelling at clouds, guys. Why are the codexes not a good source of lore and art? They should be. These should be. They should be. You should want to crack open these tomes. And do you remember when there were 20, 30 pages of lore? Do you remember when the pictures were all original and they didn't cut and paste ones? Like this picture. This goes all the way back to first ed, but they're now photoshopping it more. I'm yelling at clouds. Old man yelling at clouds. Back in my day, we'd stop it. Stop it, guys. Stop it. Pages cost money. I know. And maybe it's because they're churning them out so much these days, but it's like, because you could get a codex and then it wouldn't change for the next edition. And sometimes, like if you were the Dark Eldar players, you might not even get a codex in that edition. It was like 5th edition, they didn't even get a codex. Their 4th edition codex had to last all the way to 6th. It was hilarious. And they had half the armies back then as well. There were no well, it was a PDF, but there were no Custodes, there were no Death Guard, there were no Votan, there were no... Yeah, there was a chunk of stuff there were no of. Artists cost money. Artists do cost money. But the books these days are just... Guys, what do you think? I feel like when it comes to lore and art, it's like the minimum amount. The minimum amount. That. And that. Can you get any less than that when it comes to lore? Maybe you can. Maybe the next codex that comes out, there's no lore. It's just rules. Even the cover is bad. Even the cover is... Yeah, actually, that's what it... Yeah. Yeah. You know, if I say, can it get worse than this? Yes, it can. Games Workshop will be like, hold my beer. 5th edition codex has come out, and yeah, there'd be no law whatsoever. Don't give them ideas. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, we don't need to put laws in a codex where the people who are really... Because you've got to think about it as well. When you get into the hobby, you buy a book, and that is your army. Everyone remembers your first army, your first book. Leafing through it and leafing through it and leafing through it. You know every page. You know every picture. You know every rule in your first book when you first started doing 40k or Heresy. Games Workshop are afraid to advance the lore because it will inevitably lead to character deaths. No, I don't mean about advancing the lore. So here's a couple of things. One, they can advance the lore and lead to character deaths. So what? If characters are dead or alive, it doesn't matter. In the Heresy, I said this about 40k. In the Heresy books, some of the characters that you're playing with are dead by the end, and some of them are not. And in 40k, some of the characters and epic heroes can be dead now. in the time of the law, but they could still be in the Codex. They can kill Calgar, they can kill Yarick, they can kill Drago, they can kill half of the characters in 40k as far as I'm concerned, and still have them in the Codex. Why not? Why not have some epic deaths for some of our epic heroes? Give them a really good book. Like Yarick just sort of disappeared. Imagine if there was a new Yarick model that comes out with a book, and it's the death of Yarick, and he has his hero moment right at the end, fighting off orcs, doing his thing, and then he dies. You don't know. It's not called the death of Yarick. It's called Yarick, the champion of the Imperium or whatever. It's called Yarick is a boss. And he's fighting, he's killing, he's doing he's doing Yarick things, and at the end, the twist, spoiler horror, he dies. We'd be like, the internet would be ablaze, people would be talking about it, it'd be epic, and then there's a new epic model that comes out for him that you can field him with. Banging. Give him a proper send-off. The characters don't need to be alive to be in a codex. The Space Marine Codex can have some of the most bestest Space Marines who ever lived in there, and some of them could be dead. Mephiston could be dead. Dante could be dead. Karazo Khan could be dead. They're fine. They can kill some things. I'm happy for them to kill some things. But yeah, I think so. They can advance the lore and kill characters. That's one thing they can do. But also, when we're talking about codexes, I feel like the codex should at least have some lore in it. Should have a good dozen or so pages of lore in it, telling you about Mars, telling you about the Ring of Iron, telling you about the Magna City, telling you some of the history and backstory and why, basically, before the time of the Horus Heresy, before the time of the Emperor, Mars beat the crap out of themselves a lot. It was medieval Europe on Mars before the Emperor came. Everyone was fighting everyone all the time. And then there were periods of peace. And then everyone was fighting. And then this nation was fighting over here. And then this duke was fighting this knightly order over there. That's how structured Mars was. And then the Emperor turned up and they still had goes at each other all the time. He sort of reined them in a bit. But it was at the brink of collapse. It was a house of cards. And that's why after the heresy, the Skitarii legions of Mars, so the Skitarii is the army of Mars, were then sent out everywhere across all the Forge worlds like, you're ours now, bitches. And that's why the Skitarii that's why they're everywhere now. And that's why they're the number one fighting force for the Admech in the 41st millennium. But back then, the Skitarii were largely consigned to Mars. And then the other Archmagoses and Dominuses and things, they did their own thing. They followed their own ways. They could kill the Sanguinor and then bring him back with a nicer model. Why don't they make a model of Kane and Jurgen? I want to see that. Jurgen they did Gaunt's Ghosts. So there should be a data sheet with Commissar Kane and Jurgen. The other thing about the Gaunt's Ghost series, it's set 500 years. So this is the other thing about 40k. Gaunt's Ghost is set about 500 years before the coming of the Great Rift. So they're dead. That's a perfect example of characters that are in a codex which are not alive in the current 40k setting. A story about Tycho falling in the Death Company state and then dying in the epic battle was one of it. Yeah. I think they could back the timeline further and make a game around Ullanor. I think Horus Heresy timeline should be expanded to include pre-Heresy and Scar. When they talk about Horus Heresy, Warhammer Horus Heresy, it should be around the time of the Horus Heresy, and there should be orcs. I want to see Mega and Arachnids. I want to see murder. Didn't the Emperor seal a huge chunk of the Void Dragon on Mars? And that's why they're technologically minded. So there's a book called Mechanicum. It's the 5th book in the Horus Heresy series, and it is, no, 6th book, and it is one of the best books in the in the series. It's a Graham McNeill book. Graham McNeill goes places where other authors don't. Graham McNeill will tell you to your face what is going on. Yeah, you meet the keeper of the... They don't call it the Void Dragon, but the keeper... It literally says, the Emperor, George, killed the dragon on Terra, took it to Mars, sealed it beneath Mars. And that shard of a Catan was placed in this tesseract tomb below the surface of Mars with a watcher to watch over it, because the Emperor is playing a long game with the forces of chaos. The Horus Heresy is a tiny paragraph in a chapter of his fight against chaos. It's not the beginning, middle, and end. It's a bit. His fight against chaos went on for a very, very long time, and he knew that mankind would populate Mars, and one of the configurations would be that the settlers on Mars would come to worship the machine because of it. I couldn't get on with the Mechanicum book. The first time you did the Graham McNeill books, like the first time Mechanicum, not so much. Second time, brilliant. The first time, Thousand Suns, second time, brilliant. The first kind Outcast Dead, second time, brilliant. Graham McNeill books has got so much, like Dan Abnett and ADB are all about character and epic moments, and they do characters really, really well, and they do put lots of Easter eggs and layers in there. But Graham McNeill has Easter eggs inside Easter eggs inside Easter eggs, and when you read Graham McNeill books the second, third, fourth time, you're still pulling more and more and more layers out, which is why the Mechanicum is essential reading to any AdMech player, gearhead out there anywhere. That's why I struggled. Yeah, it's the layers and the layers. It's just, it's packed, it's dense, it's good, it's beautiful. So here's the history of Mars. It was a green, lush planet, perfectly terraformed. An old night happened, and it was turned into a rad-saturated wasteland. During the Civil War, that broke the planet. During Old Knife, the atmosphere seals were broken, and the surface became a poisoned, irradiated wasteland, and they had to go underground. And they fought each other underground. It's very Krieg going on down there, and lots of fighting and lots of stuff. And the machines started breaking down, the machines that they relied on, the machines that kept them alive on a world which will kill you. I mean, like Mars now, you can't live on Mars. You can barely live in Swindon. Swindon will kill you. But if you go to Mars, you'll definitely die. And so the only way they could keep it alive was looking after the machines, not yet worshipping the machines, but fighting over the technology that they had left, fighting over that air conditioning unit, fighting over that recyc unit, fighting over that atmospheric unit, holding on to the bits that they had, and a planet of billions of souls get reduced to millions of souls, get reduced to a few thousand souls, and the ones who are most fanatic and the ones that were most worshipful and the ones who treated their machines almost like holy relics that you must not touch and you must follow the instruction manual 100%. The ones who are the most ISIS of them all, the absolute radical nut jobs, they're the ones that lived on a death world. And they're the ones that eventually broke back up in, and they're the ones also that dug deeper and dug too greedily, just like the dwarfs at Barad-dûr. They dug too greedily and they dug too deep, and they got infected by the Catan shard below the planet. It slowly seeps into their mind like radiation, like filth, like whispers in the deep. And the ISIS nutjobs win and make their way slowly back to the surface, unified under the priesthood of Mars, unified under the trifold teachings of the Omnissiah. The Omnissiah, the Machine God, and the Motive Force. And they actually unified Mars and brought it back under compliance and back under the Mechanicum heel 2,000 years before the Emperor sorted out Terra. They got that down. They were okay by the time the Emperor turned. And they sent out the forward ships to the other thing. There's a whole other thing going on. But yeah, that's what happened there. Teruel used to explain life on Mars with no air very well. It did, didn't it? Just finished Pharos by Guy Healy. That was good. Pharos is good. Not the greatest, but Pharos is good. Do like all the Night Lord stuff in Pharos. And the origin story of the Nova Marines chapter. I'll be honest, I'm not reading it 4 times. If you're a Mechanicum lover, you'll love the Mechanicum. And you'll read it many times. If you're... yeah, it's good. If you want some light-hearted and good, if you want a good 40k AdMech book, then the Great Belisarius Call, The Great Work is your go-to. I read that 2 times. That's good as well. Gives a good insight into Belisarius Call, good insight behind the curtain and what he's up to, and his Primarch, not a Primarch, who's walking around with him. Yeah, it's actually it's a good book. It's one of the good 40k books. Thanks for lore, no problem. I want to see murder. Yeah, okay. So, coming up to 2 hours. I think we'll start wrapping it up here. Here is your 2-minute warning. I hope you enjoyed this stream. Thank you for your continued support. Now we're 11 years in. Still here. And maybe we'll be here in 11 more years. Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't put any odds on it down at the bookies, but maybe. Put the fries in the bag. I like Pharos. Winters, genuine question. How do I play against you? Or if that's possible. I am in the lucky position of always being booked up. For example, this year is booked. Completely booked. Solid. And I'm not taking any bookings for next year yet. And I'm very, very lucky. So, the best way to book a game, so I can be picky, basically. I can be picky and say no to lots of people. But so people I cannot say no to are members. So the best way to get a game with me is to become a channel member and start pestering me in the Discord. And then, yeah. Or if you've got your own YouTube channel, hit me up that way and do a collab. Like collaborating. What's Mrs. Winter's take on 11 years? I told her on our first date. On our very first date, I said, I need to tell you, I have an embarrassing thing. It's called Warhammer. So putting cards on the table. You know, first date with a girl, you're like, this is what I do. This is part of I am. And she's like, oh, what's that? This is what it is. It's playing with miniatures and painting miniatures and a war game. She's like, oh, right, okay. How long have you been doing that for? I was like, well, forever. Since I was 11. She's like, how much do you do it? I said, yeah, sometimes. And so I told her on the first date and she was like, okay, that's your thing. She's happy that I have a thing. She has her thing. She doesn't like my thing at all. She doesn't get it. She doesn't like sci-fi. The closest she gets to sci-fi is like superhero movies, maybe a bit of Marvel. But she doesn't like sci-fi. She doesn't get sci-fi. She doesn't want to know. But she's happy that I'm happy. She's happy that my hobby isn't going out there and fishing, for example, because there's a very fine line between fishing and standing on a riverbank and looking stupid. Servo Skull just dropped a $20 donation. Lovely Talky Tuesdays. Thank you, Servo Skull. I really appreciate you. GG's in the chat for Servo Skull. Thank you. How would you like to see the channel grow in the next 11 years? Grow? I would be happy if the channel just sustained me for the next... I would be over the moon if the channel sustained me for the next 11 years so I could keep doing this for 11 more years rather than telling people to put the fries in the bag or putting the fries in the bag myself, you know? So grow. Just, yeah, I'm amazed that for 11 years I've essentially shared my hobby and my games and my passion with the world, and some people help, support, help me continue to do this, help me continue to share it with you guys, because if you weren't supporting me sharing this with you guys, I'd still be doing it. I'd still be playing it. I'd still be playing the games, reading the books, painting the miniatures. Maybe not as much because I wouldn't need to make sure I've got the regular thing. I'd have to get a regular job, so obviously not as much. I'd need a regular job, so I wouldn't be able to play as much. But the fact that people support me and want to help sharing my hobby with me is just amazing. I just really appreciate it. So yeah, growth. Growth. Who knows what growth is? Stability would be nice. Happy 11-year anniversary, Winters. Glad to join you, albeit late in the game. Thank you, Raging Horn, for your £11 donate. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Can we get some GGs in the chat for Raging Horn? And GGs for Tyler James. Welcome to the 13th Tier 2 channel member. Legend. Bring back 20 minutes narrated battle reports. Yeah, back when I started, there were two types of battle reports on the channel, or on the internet. There was summary ones, 20 minutes long, and the dice rolling ones. And when I started off, I just did the summary ones, 20-minute, 30-minute battle reports, summary ones. I didn't even show my face, didn't even show dice rolling for 2 years, because it wasn't about me. It was about the stories. And then Jackus Woods has dropped a £50 donation. GG's in the chat for Jackus Woods as well. 40,000 more years, Winters. 40,000 more years. Sounds like a threat. God, no. Please. It's, yeah. I need to retire. You know, instead of the 40,000 years, how about 39,970 years? 30 years, then I retire. I'll be 82 in 30 years. I might retire then. I can still see myself doing this in the retirement home. I love playing war games. I love painting and collecting. I was here. Warsmith Chris was here yesterday, and we're just chatting about war games. Like, have you played? He was like, I haven't played a bad war game. I like war games. I mean, it's like saying, is Monopoly bad? No. Is Scrabble bad? No. Is chess bad? No. These are games. Some games are better than others subjectively. Subjectively, you might think that this game is better than that game. But games are games. And you just got to embrace the kid inside and have fun playing games. Have fun losing is the important thing, because you can't win them all. You got to have fun when you lose as well as fun when you win. Have fun no matter what, just playing a game. And the fact that I get to play games for a living is just humbling. Warsmith Chris is back. Yeah, next week. Battle report. On Wednesday. Me and Warsmith Chris. He farted. He dropped a doozy. I could taste it. So I think some of it might have been caught on camera as well. But it was eye-watering. Honestly. Winters, you young, gorgeous man. Don't stop playing Warhammer. I'm not. So long as I can read and roll dice, I'm going to be playing the Warhams. With respect, Monopoly is a bad game. It probably is, yeah. Monopoly isn't. It can't be a bad game if it's like one of the most popular games of all time. by definition, right? How can that game be bad? Mind you, EastEnders is popular and K-pop, and they're bad. Tyler James, upgraded to tier 3 membership. Excellent. If you do become a member, you should become a tier 3 channel member, because that unlocks an extra battle report every single Wednesday. Tier 3 is the way to go. I lose many, but I love the escape and the bants. Exactly. I lose many games, and it's the escape and the bants. And there's something very tactile and something very about moving miniatures around the table and the thing. That's why I like True Line of Sight. It's like this thing can see that thing, shooting that. It's something, stories come to life. Stories come to life. It's gorgeous. Love it. Getting ready to, right, get that and that. Where are we? Has anyone ever finished a game of Monopoly though? I think it's illegal in this country. You're not allowed. Girlfriend nearly ripped my head off playing Monopoly. Yes. Monopoly has ruined marriages. Right. I'm going. Thank you for joining me on this Talkie Tuesday. Thank you for all your love and support. I appreciate you guys. And happy wargaming.